Hey, Randy Pierson, Vice President of Life and Annuities for Hague Rd Marketing. And today with me, I've got Brady Doppler, one of our top life insurance marketers. And today, during this episode of Selling Life and Annuities, we're going to talk about the age-old problem that most advisors, most agents out there desperately seek a solution for, and that is effectively finding people to talk to. Stay tuned. So Brady, when I say or when I mention a tool to effectively help advisors find people to talk to, what comes to mind?
Well, I can tell you what advisors ask me for, and that is leads.
Leads, yes.
Leads.
So in today's episode, we're going to talk about a new final expense lead program that we're starting to promote and put in the hands of our agents that some of our guys that are very effective salespeople are selling 3 to 5 out of 10 cases.
Yeah, that's super high for a final expense lead program.
Incredibly high. So in your opinion, you've helped us, market a number of various lead programs over the years. In your opinion, what is the one most unique or advantageous thing that you think this lead program brings to the table that others have failed to do?
Yeah, so we've probably been through, 4 or 5 different lead programs in the last 4 or 5 years, right? And, we just get fed up with them. Our advisors don't have success with them.
They don't deliver.
Right. So when we find a lead program that's actually working, we want to reach as many independent agents out there as possible because I get asked about it all the time. And you need to have somebody to talk to sell. But what makes it unique is the way you can purchase your leads, right? So you can either do a classic good old mail drop, right? Send out a bunch of postcards, get the replies, and then those replies that you get are your lead, right? Or you can purchase them on a one-by-one basis, right? Yeah. So you can work them as you get them, as you need them, and purchase them from your area, right? So you can do either or.
Yeah, and what I was kind of getting at too is it's kind of like the old adage, what's old sometimes or oftentimes become new again.
Sure.
Back in the day when I got into business, if you wanted to run a lead program, almost all of it was direct response, direct mail, right? Or in other words, getting back lead cards. And I think, in today's world where most Americans, and in some instances in particular seniors, that would be the most apt prospect for a final expense sale, are cocooning, right? I mean, it's harder to reach them by phone or any other method, but they're always going to check their mail. And if you send out a very professional solicitation with an attractive lead card, you can get quality responses that are much more effective at getting the agent in front of those folks versus some of the things, as you mentioned, that we've tried and agents have worked on in the past in an attempt to try to maximize their marketing dollars, such as call centers, direct appointments, internet leads, all of which, as you have mentioned, to a greater or lesser degree, have failed to perform to expectation.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, right? I mean, you hit it right on the head. The old is new again, right? We have found, and our advisors have proven to us that a direct mail lead campaign is still the way to go, right? When you deal with these internet leads, phone call leads, there's a lot of different things that weigh into it, right? A lot of the times it may be a pop-up that comes up on somebody's screen. They click through it to get out of it, right? I'm not even interested. I just want to get out of this thing. Or a phone call. I just want to get off the phone. Here's my name. Yeah, I would love some life insurance. Yeah. Just get me off the phone, right?
We've seen that so many times.
So yeah, when they actually get a physical piece of mail, they take the time and fill out their information and send it back to you. It's been proven to be a much more quality lead.
We, as Brady mentioned a moment ago, we've got the ability to provide to agents a very competitively priced mail drop scenario where you can pay per 1,000. However, personally, I really like the guaranteed price per lead system. So is there a minimum number of leads that an agent has to purchase to participate in that program?
There's not, no. So the only thing that would sway the price back and forth would be if you're in an easy state or you're in a hard state. So an easy state are $32 a lead, right? You can purchase them for $32 a lead. If you're in a hard state, which I'll give you the hard states here, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, and Ohio, those are $45 a lead. So it's not impossible. You just pay a little bit more for the same exact lead, right? Per lead. Work them as you need them. They're both available. It just depends on whether you're in an easy state or a hard state.
Yeah, 90% of the U.S., right? That leaves 90% of the United States that would be considered an easy state. And for, if a guy wanted to buy 20 leads, you're going to spend $640, which is not much more to get a guaranteed 20 leads to go out and sell, market to, versus taking the crapshoot to purchase a mail drop, and who knows what you're going to get back, right? Who knows what you're going to get.
And when you're working these leads, if you've watched a previous video of ours, we have a new final expense quoting engine that would work perfectly for these leads. Even on your first phone call to some of these leads, they start listing out some medical concerns, some medications that they're on. Our new final expense quoting engine, it's called Best Plan Pro. Watch the video if you haven't watched it yet. Will help solve that problem and give you a path to go, the path of least resistance in the final expense space.
So if an agent wants to access the lead program through Gord Marketing, are they required to sell a particular carrier? What are the requirements for the agents to access this robust system we've got?
So there really wouldn't be any requirements. We would just ask that we get some of your core final expense business, right? If we're helping you sell more, please reward us with a couple of contracts. And whether you think you're at a super high contract level, nobody can beat it, we can guarantee that we'll at least match or beat any contracts that you have. But we'd like some of those core final expense carrier contracts. Besides that, there's no requirements.
Yeah,
there's no requirements.
Yeah, although I will say that if you're prepared to bring all of your final expense business to the table, there are opportunities, co-op and otherwise, that we can do to try to make that decision more lucrative for you. But with that, Brady, listen, our time has come to an end. I do want to take a moment, however, and mention that if you didn't notice the promo at the beginning of the video or our smiling faces and voices, we started a podcast recently, Brady and I, that has been more wildly accepted than I could have anticipated. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree. Yeah, it's great. It's called This Morning with Life and Annuities. Absolutely. It's me and Randy. You can download it on Spotify. I think Google. It's now on Google Play. It's a great time. We talk about some really funny subjects, some subjects that aren't even about insurance, and ways to help you capitalize in the insurance business and make some more money.
Yeah, these Selling Life and Annuity videos on YouTube typically last 6, 7, 8 minutes because we know your time is valuable. However, sometimes you might be driving your car and you want a little bit more robust dialogue. That's when you want to tune into our podcast, because we're typically going to spend 20, 30 minutes or potentially more diving deeper into some of these subjects to try to help you agents sell more life and annuities. But listen, speaking of time frames, our time for this video has come to an end. I want to thank Brady for participating in this episode of Selling Life and Annuities. I want to thank you advisors out there for watching. If you feel like you got something really beneficial out of this video, please do me a favor and click subscribe below, as well as the notification bell. But for now, we're going to say happy selling.